Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday, August 17th. I hope that you guys had a great weekend. Looking forward to our conversation with Dave today. Not a lot happening either on the macro or the micro side in terms of earnings reports today. But I'm sure that he and I will find something to educate you folks on. So looking forward to it. Glad you joined us today. Hey, just a little reminder that we do have our Fridays with Phillip coming up this Friday. That'll be August 21st, 11:30. You can call the office to register, or you can go to the website, statlerfinancial.com, and under the events tab, you can register there also. So, hey, hang tight, and we will get started here in just a moment with Dave.
Action there, the way you make me feel. I can tell you what make me feel. The stock market had a positive day today. Let's find out whether or not that's really going to happen, shall we? Time to check in on your finances after a relatively quiet day on Friday. Everything being relative, we're starting out a fresh new week. Let's head down and see what's going on with Statler Financial Services' own Phillip Statler. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Doing well today. Had a pretty good weekend. I know that you probably are drained after this last weekend, and hope things are going better for you guys.
Well, for the last week or so, yeah, it's been kind of interesting. We'll have some personal decisions made later on today that we'll talk about later, but it's going to be a rough day today, and then hopefully we'll come to a head. Friday was, I looked at the numbers because I haven't been paying as much attention day by day as things have been going on. Friday looked like a pretty routine day. I think we're kind of in a holding pattern, aren't we?
It definitely seems that way. We did not move much. It was kind of just a regular day on Friday. It was a little bit of a miss. I mean, I guess it's a little red, a little green. So, but pretty flat all around, and we're kind of looking that way this morning too.
It kind of does. To set the table, Friday we had an up day on the Dow, but in the context of the moves that we've had for the last 6-8 months have been ridiculous. It was only 34 points up on the Dow. NASDAQ was off by 23, and the Standard & Poor's is about as close to zero as you can get. They were down 58 cents on Friday at the end of the day. Some of it, they're looking at key states like Florida going into election time tomorrow, and then obviously the Democratic National Convention beginning in Milwaukee, and what they say there might very well either throw a scare into or reassure some investors. It's kind of a wait and see what happens attitude right now on Wall Street.
It is. You've got the election issues coming up, and that's got people probably a little bit on edge. We still have the president in China, back and forth a little bit on trade issues. So there's and then we got the Postal Service. I don't know if you read all that this weekend, but, Congress is calling the Postal General to testify on an emergency hearing regarding the mail-in ballots and the postal running so far behind.
Yeah, it struck me as, okay, fine, the post office has been losing their butt now for years. I would think that cutbacks in equipment and services probably a month and a half or 2 months before election probably has an element of not really optimal timing. Would that be a charitable way to put it?
I'm thinking maybe he's trying to get their attention, and it just took a little while to do that.
I suspect so, because one of the arguments between President Trump and Congress is getting the Postal Service fixed and getting the funding in the proper places. So, yeah, it might very well be trying to get attention, but that's going to occupy Congress, obviously, and not knowing whether or not we're going to be able to count on the returns in the election in November. That goes into that old rule of thumb you and I talk about all the time. If there's one thing money and stocks do not like, it's uncertainty, and that's just throwing one more thing into the mix to make people wonder whether people know what they're doing in Washington, right?
Well, that's true. They do not like uncertainty. That is the one thing that the markets hate more than anything is uncertainty, and so they're going to be much more conservative on their approach going into the election and those type of things. At least that's what I think.
Understood. Monday tends to be a tidbit day as much as anything because a lot of the reports from trading companies don't come out until the market opens up as they get off of their weekend. And the government hasn't had a chance to dump anything on us yet either. Tidbits we've got, though, include the Empire State Business Index, activity up in New York. As they open, we expected big things, and they had a real pleasant surprise last month. This month, the New York State Empire State Business Index is still positive, just plus 3.7, but that's down 13.5 points from last month. So I've got to believe a few investors were a little disappointed in the lack of improvement.
Well, maybe so, Dave. I mean, given all that happened last month, I think we had a really big bounce. If you remember, we went from very negative to that 17 point whatever number. And so to retrench a little bit based on our current circumstances and the increase in people staying home and those type of things, which is probably somewhat reasonable to expect.
I suppose that's just that going down by that much. Staying positive is always good news, and kind of like we've been saying, anything that's positive is positive at this point in time. And so, okay, fine. It was a decrease from last month, and you might be right. It may very well just be a 2-month average. It's positive 6 point something or another. You got some big news. Warren Buffett, the world's most conservative buy and hold investor, is looking at gold.
Well, yeah, he filed they have to file, you buy so much, you got to file with the SEC what you're buying afterwards, obviously. And so he made a pretty big size investment in Barrick Gold, the mining company. And so that was a big deal there. He also cut his stake in Wells Fargo and JP Morgan. Both of those, he reduced his positions in. So, I mean, not only did Barrick Gold get a bump, it's traded on the Toronto Exchange. We won't know what that really looks like until later today, but it's affecting gold too, gold and silver across the board when we look at what those prices are trading at.
Yeah, gold actually had kind of an off week last week. It got below 2,000 for a while in there. It still is, but it's trading upward by the better part of a full percentage point this morning just on the strength of Warren Buffett saying, well, these companies aren't bad investments, and that means what they do isn't a bad investment, right?
No, that's right, and their product's not a bad investment. And so, yeah, definitely a strength towards gold right now is definitely kind of evident from what I see there.
Other tidbits going on this morning include, you mentioned last week, Phillip, a bunch of the European airlines were cutting staff and cutting back capacity. Word comes out this morning, one of our discount airlines, Ryanair, has announced they're doing a 20% capacity cut, which is going to cost some jobs. I flippantly said before we went on the air, maybe they can all go to work for Domino's, because on the other side of the fence, Domino's Pizza announced they're adding 20,000 employees over the next month or two.
That's because everybody's still staying home like they're supposed to, ordering pizza. Somebody told me today, I think my wife was telling me, she read that there's a shortage in pepperonis right now. And I got to attribute that to the pizza trade, Dave.
Oh, my Lord. I mean, that ranks right up there with avocado toast for the millennials, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, I do have one earnings report for you. It's called JD.com. JD.com, which is a Chinese e-commerce. They beat both on top and bottom revenue for the second quarter. Got a nice 30% increase in some annual customer activity. They were up today like 6.5% this morning.
So we'll still buy stuff from China, won't we?
Yep, that looks like it.
Evidently. Resetting the table for the morning, it was a mixed day on Wall Street on Friday. Nobody moved very much whatsoever. Dow up by a little, NASDAQ and the S&P down by a little. 45 minutes before we opened this morning, Phillip, what do the indications look like so far?
Hey, Dave, right now we are all green when it comes to the stock indexes. We got the Dow up about 1/3%. The S&P 500 is getting close to being up 0.5%. And then we've got the NASDAQ up a little over 0.75%. So everything looking green on that side of the coin. And then on the commodity side, we got silver making a big, huge jump today, up $1.32. That's 5% this morning.
Wow.
Gold, like you said, up a little over 1.1%. It's trying to get back to 2000s at $1,972 an ounce right now. And then we got crude oil down about 1/3% to $41.86 a barrel right now, Dave.
And the word I've got on that is that's concerns over demand and the expectations, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think crude oil inventory comes out on Wednesday as well as the FOMC minutes. So that is going to make Wednesday in the afternoon kind of a crucial day.
It'll make our Thursday morning report real interesting, too. World markets overseas, the Asian Rim was mixed. Chinese markets generally up. Japanese markets were down this morning. Europe generally trading up by a tinge this morning. Not a major buying spree, but they're all in green ink. Phillip, advice needed to be able to make sure retirement works for me and for people that are close to retirement age. The strategy changes depending upon where you're at. How do I find you to get that advice?
Absolutely, Dave. Give us a call at 382-0037. Hey, this Friday, we're going to have Friday with Phillip, 11:30. You can call my office to register, or you can go online to statlerfinancial.com to the events tab and register there. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 730.
And back here again tomorrow morning, same time on Light FM. Phillip, so much. You have a good day, all right?
All right, man. You too.
Thank you, my friend. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler. Wait and
again, folks, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope this Monday, your week is off to a good start. I hope you'll join us Friday for Friday with Phillip, 11:30. You can go to our website at statlerfinancial.com and register under the events tab. Have a great day. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow.